friends, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to do this vlog because I have 3 books that I will be reading that I have never seen on my personal social media feed. I follow a lot of bookish people, whether that be on YouTube or my Instagram or my TikTok, but I've never seen these 3 books on any of my feeds. They've been on my shelf for years, but I've never been influenced to read them, so I've never picked them up. So I'm going to read them on my own accord and see if they are worth being on your social media feed. I don't know anyone's thoughts or feelings. I haven't looked on Goodreads. I don't know if they should be blown up everywhere. I don't know if they should be on the back burner where they are on my algorithm, but I'm going to read Blue Ticket by Sophie McIntosh, which is more of a dystopian. I'm going to read Followers by Megan Angelo, which kind of gives me like a Black Mirror feel. And I'm going to read 3 Single Wives by Gina Lamanna, which I think is just more of a domestic psychological thriller. I don't know anything about these. I haven't really read the synopses of these, so I'm just going to hop in, and I think I'm gonna read Blue Ticket first. So let's go back a week and see how this went. We're getting ready right now to take our dogs to the park. But I will be taking this with me just in case we have some time. But it's hard to get through. It's a little odd right now. Basically, she pulled out her own IUD because she decided that she wanted to get pregnant, and that's just not allowed for a Blue Ticket. And so she bamboozled this guy that she was dating to impregnate her, and then her doctor found out, and now she's been banished, basically. So they gave her a pack to go, and it has like an old pistol in it, and some ramen and some water, and like that's it. And now she's on the run. And I just started, like I'm on page 100. The dogs just ran outside. I'm like on page 100, and now she's in the car, and people are like throwing things at the car, but now she's by herself and she has to go somewhere else. I don't know where she's going or why she's going. The story itself is fine. I'm a little bored. I think the writing is pretty. And I'm realizing with myself, if it's pretty writing, I struggle with it because it's so lyrical and beautiful and poetic, and I'm not smart enough for that type of writing. This is the type of book that I would want to underline and annotate if I was one of those girlies, and maybe I should look into that. I'm gonna keep going. I want to get through it. I want to see what the hype is, or maybe I can hype it. So I'm a little bored, but maybe it'll pick up.
No barley.
All right, we just got back from, let me turn light. We just got back from taking the dogs to the park. We are gonna eat some dinner and watch Fall of the House of Usher. We're really enjoying that one, and then I'll crack open the book. I gotta finish it. I'm not liking it, so I have to finish it soon, otherwise I'm gonna just stop reading it. So I just need to finish it. I'm just not necessarily enjoying the writing style. I'm really struggling with getting into the story. It's not reading like a story. It's reading like a literature assignment in school, and it's really hard for me to get into it and enjoy the story that I'm reading. So we're gonna eat some white chicken chili that I made, and watch Fall of the House of Usher, and then I'm going to do my best to blast through this so that way I can get a full opinion and tell you what I really think about it. So we just finished The Fall of the House of Usher. We binged it in 24 hours, and while episode 2 was quite intense, I do have to say it was the most intense one out of all the rest of them in my opinion, but I am a descendant of Edgar Allan Poe. Like, my mom's maiden name is Poe. There's a family tree, shows my name and Edgar Allan Poe like in the same tree. Like, we're closely related. So it's so cool to see his work commemorized and respectfully done in such a modern way. Like, I was a little nervous about going into it. I actually haven't seen or haven't read all of the stories that were referenced. There was one that I hadn't read before, and it was really cool because then I got to go and read it. I feel like it's weird for me to be all teary-eyed and like, oh my gosh, that was so good, but there aren't many people who could say that he's as close of a descendant, and he is my heritage and my relative, and I just think Mike Flanagan did an incredible job on The Fall of the House of Usher. I'm about to go to bed and blast through Blue Ticket so that way I can start something tomorrow, because I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. I don't like the writing style. I think Sophie McIntosh is too smart for me. So I need to get through it so that way I can have a coherent opinion and maybe start on something new. But I'm going to blast through it tonight, and tomorrow I'll be able to hop on and tell you my 100% true thoughts about this book. What was this? What? So first of all, this book has more, this is what I look like? Cute. This book has more hype on Goodreads because of the author, Sophie McIntosh, who wrote The Water Cure. I get it. She's a beautiful author. Her prose is beautiful. This book, 2 stars, not it. I don't know how to articulate why it should be a 1 star for me, but I found a few redeeming qualities that I could not put it into a 1 star. There was no world building, there was no dialogue, we were just following the sad girl the whole time, and it crushed the patriarchy and Our Body, Our Choice, and both are great. The book in and of itself was just boring. It was boring, and it shouldn't be. This is like a really cool dystopian plot. Like, that should not have been boring. There was so much opportunity for that to be so fun and such a cool book, and literally no one talked. It was just her mind. There were no quotation marks, no indentions. Every chapter, every paragraph ended abruptly. There wasn't any character development. I didn't find any plot development. It was like I was reading a really long poetry assignment by someone who was really into some science fiction. I was just so bored. I'm glad I read it, got it through, can get it off the shelf. I hated it, but I'm glad that I got through it. So I'm going to now pick up Followers. This one is all about social media following and what two women will do to get that celebrity status that they've wanted. And then you also have a timeline in the future where someone's finding out some things about the past. I think it's going to be cool. To me, kind of sounds a little futuristic. I'm not sure if that's the vibe that they're going for. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to read this one today, pick it up on the audio. Thanksgiving's in a few days. I have to go and start baking for that and purchasing some things for that. So we'll be popping in those headphones and listening to it. And I need to like this one more than the other one. Otherwise, I don't really want to do this vlog if it's just going to be a bunch of books that I hate. So. Coffee. I am about 40% into followers and I'm really enjoying it. It's reminding me of an episode of Black Mirror. We have two timelines, one in 2055 and one in 2015, 2016, seem to be following a girl named Floss. Names are funny here. In both timelines, one when in 2015 when she's trying to get famous, and one in 2055 when she is, and now her daughter is super famous too. And in the 2015, Floss and Orla, her roommate, Orla worked at a magazine and was a blogger and was pretty popular at the time. She inadvertently made someone else really famous by blogging about her, just like a celebrity blogger. So Orla put this girl on the map, and Floss wanted to be a singer, couldn't make it as a singer, and so she and Orla decided to use Orla's platform on the magazine to make Floss famous. It works. Floss gets with the really popular guy who has his own show. It's kind of like the bad boy, you know. It's really like a Black Mirror episode because in 2055, everything is so different. Phones are gone. It's all like a patch. So you can see it inside your brain because they referenced millennials directly. So calling me out here, but when millennials hit the age of 55, most of them had a sudden decrease in memory. Most of them had a sudden onset of dementia, and they're saying that it was because we had blue light so close to us, and they were referencing millennials back in the day of like we always had our necks down, we were always staring at like our devices. In 2055, because it's in their brains, they don't have to worry about anything like that. They can just say, is this pizza shop open? And they see the website in their brain. Or they can order it in their brain. And so it's called Followers because Floss's daughter named Marlo, they're all famous because Floss was famous and now Marlo is famous. And the way that fame works is, think of it like a live stream all of the time. When you are awake, and if you're not in the bathroom, the dressing room, the doctor, you are on camera. You're taking medicine that you are the face of, and you hear your directors in your brain telling you what to do. Or if you've been in the bathroom for too long, they'll say something like, you need to go back out to where cameras can view you because you've lost like 60 followers during this time, whatever. And it's so insane. So right now Marlo is married to a famous guy. She doesn't really want to be married to him anymore, but she's married to this famous guy, and they get this letter, like in their brain, they get this letter, and the letter says it's time for your baby. And when they're younger, they get their eggs taken out, and there are designers that take DNA and the genes from the dad's side and the mom's side and put them together, design the baby, put the baby in the mom, and the mom has the baby. It's wild. She just took off her patch and left. I don't know if there's anyone in this America in 2055 that doesn't have the patch on. So she just took off the patch and left, and we're starting to see the decline of Orla and Floss in 2015 because Floss is really loving fame, and people love Orla because she's super sarcastic, because now they're all on this reality show living together, Orla, Floss, and Floss's boyfriend. And anytime that like Floss and her boyfriend do something cute, Orla's like, this is stupid. And people go crazy for that. Like, Orla is becoming famous and she didn't really want to, but I haven't heard a lot about Orla in the second POV. So as of right now, I'm invested. Like, I'm loving this. I'm loving the dual timeline. I'm loving how everything is very Black Mirror-ish with technology in the second POV. So I don't know where it's going. I haven't read any more of the synopsis. I am getting ready. We are going to the gym, and then we're going to go grocery shopping to get stuff for Thanksgiving, so that way I can bake desserts and get everything ready. So getting ready for that. About to put my audiobook back in, and I'm going to see how far I can get today. Maybe I can finish this. Back from the gym, back from the grocery store, and I took a shower, took all the makeup off, changed. I feel good, and I'm about to start. I'm not. I have good intentions about starting a dessert. I can do it a few days early, just stick it in the fridge, but I don't think I am. I'll just save it all for the day before and cry. But I did get about 60% of the way through followers, and we found out that Marlo escaped and went to New York City to try to piece together all of this new information that she's gotten. And when she gets to New York, we as the audience have found out that the people in New York kind of live normal lives. Like, they still have the device, but they still live normal lives. They are just consumers of content, and Marlo is just the content creator. But the content that she's creating is all fabricated. She lives in a neighborhood and in a life that the network created to look like a real life. There are bots everywhere to look like extras, waiters, and people in the background, but they can go on mute mode, so that way Marlo and her husband can talk. They live a 24-hour reality show that's fabricated. Their home is fabricated. It's kind of like the Truman Show. If you've ever seen the Truman Show, it has like that vibe. It's so eerie and creepy to think about. But now she's in New York, and she just came in contact with an actual follower of hers, and she's never had that happen to her before because she's always just lived in the network's community. So now she's like, how do I talk to this person? They're in New York, and she's at the 9/11 memorial, but while it still commemorates 9/11, the fall of the internet has happened, and now there's a government internet, and this memorial also acts as the anniversary spot of when the internet went down and the government created their own. And it's really creepy. Also have some like Big Brother 1984 vibes. Some other like scandal things have happened. They're little things. I don't want to ruin it. It's just adding some meat to the story, creating depth to the characters. So I'm really enjoying those plot points. I like reading about scandals. I think they're fun. So she's in New York and trying to figure out how normal people live, and we're getting some history on Marlo as a kid and how she's getting to the spot that she is. But dang, like, this is a fun one. I forgot that my best friend's coming over tonight, and I forgot something at the grocery store. So put on a little bit more, and just so that way she doesn't think she came at bedtime. And we're gonna have authentic Italian pizza and authentic Italian wine, because Garrett and I just got back from Italy a few weeks ago, and it's still our personality. So as we make our way through that time of life, we did buy Italian flour. We're getting everything ready for that, and we have to go get like toppings and stuff that we forgot. But I did want to hop on and say that I finished Followers, and it didn't go the way that I planned, but the story, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I may talk myself down to a 3. I think it had great commentary on celebrity life and fame. I think it had great commentary on the desire to be a celebrity and to be famous, what you would do, what their life is like, and how it's so different. And also it has a great commentary on social media and being online, being so addicted to our phones and devices, and what life might look like without it. There wasn't any sort of mystery. It would fall more into dystopian, but not what you would expect in a dystopian. I don't know what genre this goes with, and blame it on my macabre heart, but I wanted it to end darker. I think I had Black Mirror in my head, and we just watched Fall of the House of Usher, and so it's just like a lot of dark endings in my mind. And of course, not all books follow that plot line, and so it didn't end as dark as I wanted it to. And so I think I need to separate myself from, just reading it, so that way I'm not judging it based off of the ending entirely. It did have some great commentary about enjoying the life that you're given and not necessarily pining after something else. Those who were famous wanted to not be, those who weren't wanted to be, those who were and figured it out were happy. The spill, I liked what the spill was. Just reminding you to be careful about what you share online. I'd give it 3.5 right now. I think it was a fine story. If you're not looking for something with a lot of twists and turns, you won't find that there. You'll find a cool dystopian story about some future technology. You'll find some characters coming to themselves and learning who they are. We have some great character arcs. We have some not great character arcs. I think it could have gone through one more round of editing to really become the story that it could have been. But for what the book is, I did enjoy it. I'm now going to pick up my last one, and that's 3 Single Wives. All I know is 3 beautiful women, 2 wedding bands, 1 dead husband, and they all get together for a book club. They start to talk about revenge and killing a husband and someone gets mad, and by the end of the night, someone's dead. That's all I know. So I'm going to go into this one and start it. Hopefully I can finish it by tomorrow, and we can wrap this up and have a nice little discussion at the end about maybe why these books weren't as hyped. Good morning. It is the day before Thanksgiving, so today is just a day full of baking. I'm making 3 desserts. I'm doing pumpkin cheesecake bars. I'm doing chess squares or ooey gooey cake squares, whatever you call them. And I'm doing a peanut butter pie for Garrett because he loves peanut butter. I found the 3 Wives on audio, so I'm going to pop that in and listen to it throughout the day. I'll update you as I find some interesting updates in the story, but hopefully I can finish it today and we can conclude our vlog hopefully in time for Thanksgiving, so that way we can put it up and just relax and start reading something else. I'm only on chapter 2 according to that audiobook, but I swear I'm on chapter like the 18,000 or something, because there are multiple perspectives from these women, but this audiobook is not doing a great job of helping us learn which woman is who, and I know that's detrimental to know for this book. So I'm struggling with the audiobook a little bit. And also, we have the mom of 4 who is just exhausted, and the way that they are characterizing these women, they are talking about their weight first. So I'm sure, so that way we as a reader can differentiate, but there's got to be a better way to differentiate a woman from another than her weight, and that bothers me with this book. So I'm trying to follow along. It is a little difficult. We are going back and forth like 9 months ago to now. We are in a courtroom listening to transcript, and then we're following different women 9 months ago in their story. But I don't know if I could tell you which woman is doing what, and I may need to switch from the audiobook and listen to something else, but just read with my eyes so that way I can take notes. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to figure out what I'm supposed to know. I may have already missed something. I may have to start over. I don't know.
Work ethic, the way he interacts with his teammates, and when he hits the floor, it's all about the game.
And here is more. Following the 3-pointer by AI.
Line here in the second quarter.
And Greg, definitely that's one of the reasons they're in front right now.
Now, here's Rozier. 6 points for him.
Okay. No time has passed for you, but it's been a solid 2 days since I've updated this vlog, and it was pretty presumptuous of me to think that I would do this over Thanksgiving. I think the last time I chatted with you, I was listening to an audiobook and baking for Thanksgiving. That happened. We ate it, all gone, and it was a hit, by the way. And then we went Black Friday shopping, and I purchased Garrett's big present, which I can't say what it is because he will watch this vlog and it's going to come out before Christmas, so I can't say what it is right now. And purchased a few clothes. However, now I have dove back in the book, and let me get it. It's not actually the book, but it's the book sleeve. But I am about 50% in. Hopefully I can finish it tonight because I'm oddly hooked. It's not going to be a 5-star. It's still minorly confusing whose storyline is whose, and whose husband is whose, and whose relationship is nefarious versus who's married versus who's cheating. Like it's a little confusing, but I think I've got it. And right now I've realized that a husband, it does say one dead husband, but we don't know whose husband it is. There are 2 husbands that we are reading about, and like another random guy that one of our main characters is hooking up with, but we don't know whose dead husband we're talking about. We think we do. I think I know who we're talking about. I think I know who it's alluding to, but I can see that being a plot twist. So I don't know who the dead husband is. I do know we have one character whose name is Anne, and Anne has 4 kids, and she has this husband named Mark. Mark made me so mad I put it down to come in here and turn on the camera to chat, because Mark is a detective, a policeman, and it's not like we're seeing a policeman point of view. That's just his job. And Anne did something a few years ago where she took off, hired the babysitter, took off, and then didn't come back for 3 days. Kind of like had a breakdown. Checked herself into rehab, but then checked herself out of rehab. Kind of like had a low-key breakdown because she had 4 kids. And she's kind of, was kind of like dying. Then we find out her husband is literally just a piece of trash when it comes to helping her take care of things around the house. So she got invited to her friend Eliza's launch party. She has her own PR firm, Eliza does, and she is launching a new self-help book for this really popular author. And so Anne was invited to Eliza's big launch party, and Eliza put on this really fancy dress, looked really good according to the description of the book, and Mark is down there letting the kids eat ice cream for dinner, which is like not a big deal if that's what you do, but she's like, why are you letting them eat ice cream? They haven't had dinner. And he said, well, we were waiting for you to come downstairs and say that dinner was ready, but you hadn't yet, and they were hungry, so I decided to give them a snack of ice cream. Like, you were waiting for her to come down and say dinner's ready? You can't like fix something for dinner real fast. Like, he's down there watching the game, not watching the kids. She comes down, and one's on the back of a couch, and 2 twins are like fighting, and she said, so I'm gonna go and you can put the kids to bed. And he goes, all of them? Sir, do you not realize she puts her kids to bed every single night? She puts your kids to bed every single night, all 4 of them. And she's like, well, unless you have a favorite, which I'm sure he does, but like, so, and then she says, you need to read them a story. They have to be in bed by 9, otherwise their schedule is effed up. So you have to read them a story, give them a bath, and get them into bed all by 9. It's around 7 right now, so now's the time that we start. But I wanted to watch the game. I don't have time. Oh, I was so, I was angry. I hope he dies. Because that, and of course he's not going to, but like, I was so angry. Like, be a partner for your wife. So she left. She's like, take care of it. I'm gone. Take care of it. And then we have the other girl, Penny, who has fallen in love with another main character's husband, Roman. And so it's Roman and Eliza, our husband and wife, and he teaches classes and like acting classes, and Penny came to Los Angeles to be an actress and lives in Hollywood, and she babysits for Anne and her 4 kids. So Anne can go do what she needs to do because she thinks Mark's cheating on her, so she's going to go and spy on him. Gotta get a babysitter for that. And so all of this is getting really intertwined, and now Roman has officially like made out with Penny, and I'm trying to figure out how I want this story to go 50% in, because we still don't know who's dead. Every other chapter, in between the chapters, we get the transcription from the court case. Each woman, each person that's like in their lives are chatting, and they're all saying, oh, well, this person did it, and you should talk to this person because I wasn't the only one sleeping with him, and wasn't the other one who was sleeping with him want him dead too, and just ending it on chapter breaks like that. So I still don't know who's dead. I still don't know who did it, and I don't know why I care. Maybe it's because I just love drama that's not mine. Anyway, I'm hopping in. I gotta know what's going on. It probably will not be this dramatic, but like, I care now. I'm in it. I got it. I care. So that means you gotta care with me too. Bro, what? What is this? I just finished this, and I am so confused as to what was going on that entire time. Every character read the same. Literally, on the back, it talks about they arrive at book club bearing bottles of wine. None are plotting to kill. But when the subject of philandering husband arises, revenge is in the air. By the end of the night, someone is dead. That premise, that sounds like it's going to be the whole story, the whole book. And it's not. The entire story takes place like 6 and 5 months before that fateful night. And so we're reading all this backstory and getting to that night. Book club is talked about in the court transcripts. Unless I blacked out, I don't remember them actually sitting down at book club and talking about killing someone. They do go to book club. They do talk about the self-help book that they're reading for book club. They do mention, they allude to the fact that you can take charge in your own way with men, because all men are the same, whatever. But never once was there a plot to kill. Never once, like, the whole premise of the book I was lied to. I was wanting to hear about them killing someone and like the revenge that was there and like the anger. And where was that? Where was I was promised this by the back of this book. Where was it? Where was it? Also, why does it say 3 single wives? One of them's not a wife. I don't get it. I give this 2 stars. Each book I read was not my favorite. I didn't mind Followers, but this wasn't like a fun find my favorite book. I feel like I griped about each one, and maybe there's a reason why these were not super highly talked about on the internet. Will this stop me from finding those books more and reading them? No, I will still do that. But this one here, it had potential and it did not reach that potential, and I'm sad about it. It just did not go the way that it was supposed to go. And the transcripts from the court, you can hear my husband, I'm sorry. The transcripts from the court case that we're reading about almost had nothing. It gave us no meat. It gave us nothing about what was going on in the actual story. It was like just a little break in between the very long chapters, and then it gave like no answers to anything. I didn't get my thoughts together before I got on, but I think you can understand how I feel. Okay, it's time to recap what I've put myself through this past week. I've read 3 books that I did not see on the internet anywhere. I just saw them cover buys, like the synopsis, bought because I found at library sales or on clearance or whatever, but I haven't seen them online anywhere. And I read The Blue Ticket, which I'm looking because I forgot. I gave 2 stars. I read Followers, which I gave 3 stars. And I read 3 Single Wives, which I gave 2 stars. 2.5 stars. I'm going back and forth. I don't want to be like mean. Anyway, Blue Ticket is more dystopian sci-fi, a wannabe dystopian sci-fi about a woman living in this world where when you have your first period, you either get a blue ticket or a white ticket. Blue ticket means that you are more independent, you don't get married, you don't have babies, you are a functioning member of society, get a job, go on with your life. A white ticket means the opposite. You have children, you get married, your job is the home. And this girl gets a blue ticket, but ultimately decides that she wants to have a child and wants to go through that experience. And what does that mean for her in this world where your ticket really matters? So she gets pregnant, she goes on the run, a lot of bad things happen to her. It's more of like a my body, my choice sort of read. The premise is more interesting than the book. It was written in such a poetic, flowery way, and that's not my jam. I struggle with that type of writing a lot. There was no verbal dialogue. It was all in her head. I didn't find one pair of quotation marks in this entire book. It's a lot of her being sad, a lot of her wondering things, and a lot of her running away. And that's it. I was bored. I gave it 2 stars. Then I read Followers, which this started out to be a Black Mirror kind of feel. The episode of Black Mirror where their social media and their social media score determines their life and whether or not they can get on a plane or buy a house. And that kind of reminded me of what was going on in here, where millennials are around 55, 60 in this book, and the internet fell. And so now it is a government-run internet where they can see and, control everything that you do. And there's like a chip on the back of your neck behind your ear, and you can see everything in your head. So if your favorite reality star is streaming, you can see it in your head. You can follow them there. There are no more devices. Everything is in here. However, Followers follows a reality star where she lives in a community that is run by the network. And that means that she's always on camera. So she's always on in someone's mind. And the following number that she has dictates everything for her. That's all she cares about. She starts to find out that her life is not normal. We do have normal people. She ends up going to New York City. She comes in contact with some non-reality star people whose lives are not dictated by the network, and starts to realize that, maybe my life isn't quite normal. Maybe the network doesn't have the best intentions for me. And she starts to find out some things about her family. We learn about the world post the internet fall, what's going on there, how you can be on 2 sides. It has great commentary on celebrity culture, on social media, on devices and addiction to that. However, I think I wanted it to end a little more dark than what it did, and that may be more on me than anything, because it did have some great commentary. I just wanted it to be a little more Black Mirror-ish, And that was more on me for expecting that because of that episode. There was nothing in here that led to that. So it is a good one. If you want to get into more of that dystopian sci-fi that is based in reality sort of story, this is a really great read for you. And I gave it 3 stars. And then I just finished 3 Single Wives. I don't know why it's called 3 Single Wives. I'm still angry. We are following this group of 3 women who their lives are intertwined either because they are friends or they're the babysitter or they know the husband or whatever. So they're all intertwined, and they end up apparently going to this book club and talking about revenge on a husband. It's what the back says. It's different than what's in here. I don't remember that book club conversation being so prevalent. I'm still salty. But it ends with someone being dead. You're not sure who's dead in the midst of the story. You're trying to figure that out as you read the transcripts of the court case and the murder weapon and how that gets in this possession and who took it and XYZ of court case transcripts. Most of the time we are following them 6 and 5 months before the event, so you're leading up to the big event. You're figuring out the history of these people and why they're all intertwined and maybe why they all hate each other, IDK. And by the end of it, you figure out who died and who killed that person. It had such potential to be great. It felt really rushed at the end. The climax didn't bring anything to me. It felt really convenient learning who did what. I didn't figure anything out. They didn't figure anything out. People just told them. And the whole time they're trying to figure it out. And then their solution is that someone just tells them. And that just didn't give me the necessary ending that I needed for the build up. So I'm toying between 2 and 2.5 stars. Probably 2 stars because it's still making me mad. But I did read these 3 books that I've never seen anyone read before on my personal social media feed. I've never heard of them before, and I'm excited to move them to my red shelf, and we're going to start on our newest vlog. So excited. Thanks for watching. I hope I haven't deterred you from reading these. So let me know down in the comments if you're still going to pick some up, but also let me know some really random books that you have never seen on your personal social media feed, and maybe I can make this a little series that I do where I read some very non-popular books. Thanks for watching.